stopping to get some water. So initially I saw some lightning. Bandit, come here. Come here. Initially I saw some lightning in the distance, but then I just saw a flash directly above us, so I don't know. I'm anticipating raindrops any second now. Which means the camera's got to be put away, and the rain fly's got to come out, and the rain jacket's got to come out. I've only got one pair of pants, and they're blue jeans, so if they get soaking wet, I'm going to be in a bit of a predicament. Because immediately when this rain comes, I think there's a cold front right behind it. So the rain's going to get cold. So I don't want to be cold, freezing, and wet, because that is not a good thing out here. You know, last time I got caught in the rain at Mammoth Cave, maybe not the last time, but one of the times, was a few years back. And it was in the springtime, and it might have been the spring following my trip. Something's over there. There's just a rattling leaves. Oh, I'm paranoid now. But it was a rainy day. This might have been 2013. And I was out here. I was going back to a site called Bluffs, but I was also spending the night at Collie Ridge. And I just remember hearing pops and cracks all around me. I could have sworn that they were tree knocks coming from various different directions. It was a wet, foggy, rainy day. It wasn't pouring, but there weren't really that many people out there at the time. It was early spring, maybe March, and it was cold and wet, so not a lot of people had camping in mind. I could have sworn I was hearing tree knocks. But I think earlier in the year, in fact it was New Year's Eve and New Year's of 2012 going into 2013, was my first time hiking to White Oak. And as I was setting up camp and stuff, I very casually tried to do some tree knocks. And it sounded like I did get some responses at one point. I think they were too distant to pick up on my mic that I had, but I was pretty convinced that I was hearing tree knocks from the outside upstream of the Green River. And that's about it I can say, really. I don't know how distinguished these knocks really were. It wasn't like when I was in Arkansas. It wasn't like when I was in Caddo Lake, where they were very obvious and close. These were somewhat far away and spaced out. But these are old growth forest, and branches fall out all the time, land on the trunks of the trees or other lower branches, and that makes a loud popping, knocking sound. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't anything. This could mean anything. But there's a tree break about 7 feet off the ground. And, well, it's not really fresh. It's got a little bit of a spider webbing on it. But there's a lot of stuff clustered there. And there's that break right in the middle of the trail. But hey, if I was a hiker or a ranger and I was walking back here and there was this thing right in my way, I'd break that branch too. So That's not really odd or unnatural, but I wanted to take note of it. I think a lot of people think when they see something like that that only Bigfoot would do that, but heck, if there's a tree branch in your way and you're trying to walk on a trail, or you're just trying to walk off trail, you're going to want to get it out of your way so it's not scratching you in the face or knocking your hat off or whatever. I think a lot of people misread hunter sign as Sasquatch sign, and that's a dangerous thing. It can breed a lot of confusion. Meanwhile, it's getting darker as the storm clouds sneak up on me. I gotta be getting close. Right? Right, Bandit? Well, we made it to the campground. The lightning seems to have blown off a little bit, but it's still thundering a little bit. There might be another... It's hard to say. It's so dark, there's no moon. So it's hard to say how much of this is clear sky and how much of it is cloudy. It stands to reason that there'd be a lot more stars out tonight if it was clear sky. So I think there are a lot of clouds going above us right now, but it's hard to tell what kind they are. So we're at the campground. Here's that. I don't see any firewood gathered from previous campers. Out here, well, you can't see because it's dark, but where I'm pointing with my flashlight before it goes into nothingness, there's actually a bend of the Green River. So right off the river, there's a old ferry parking lot that really there's nothing over there, no campgrounds or anything on the other side. But that's over there. So we're not too far from a road, but it's on the other side of the river. So if we needed to get out, that area wouldn't be too good for us. The best way out is the way we came. To get back to the car anyway. Okay, so we got half clear skies, half cloudy skies. The wind is currently died down. I think I'm going to try to find a tree hitting stick, do a couple of tree knocks, wood knocks, stick knocks, whatever you call them. And then we're going to immediately set up a tent and keep our ears open as we do. This is weird. It's the first time the wind stopped since we started hiking. I hope it stays like this. I hope it calms down later so that we can hear noises. Just saw another flash of lightning above, so we got to get started so that we have a dry roof over our heads. Okay, so let's talk about some of the various developings, because a lot just happened as I was setting up my tent. So I was setting up my tent, and everything was going good, and then as I moved this pole to the back here, it split. And it wouldn't fit just right, but I hadn't realized it was split yet. So what I got is a fiberglass splinter in my finger. At the same time, two raccoons back in the woods started fighting, and me and Bandit were trying to figure out what was going on. But we started setting up, and it started to rain the moment I started to put my rainfly on. Now, I made a splint kind of thing. I kind of made a press, or a tourniquet for the split tent pole. But I don't know, I'm hoping that will hold. But now I have to get this splinter out of my finger. If you look at it, let's see here. It's probably maybe a third of an inch long. It's a good size as far as splinters go. I need to cut it out with my knife. I don't want it to break inside and leave fragments of fiberglass in me. So as it was raining, we hurried up to set up the tent, put Bandit in, covered the rainfly, started tightening it in, and then jumped in here, landed on my pack. And as I landed on my pack, I punctured a hole in the the can of cream soda that I had hiked in. And it leaked all inside the tent, so now it's going to be wet and sticky. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the 6 to 8 fluid ounces of cream soda out of the floor in my tent. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I've got a lot of new clothes, new camping clothes, and I don't want to get them wet and sticky by using them as a sponge. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to get this stuff up. I don't really have a towel or anything like that with me, so I'm kind of at a miss of what to do. Meanwhile, I've got the splinter inside of my finger that I also have to get out. So before I can settle down and retire tonight, I need to do some things, or it's going to be a rough camping trip. These are cheap cotton socks, and they should absorb a lot of that soda. I have a fresh pair of wool blend socks to keep me warm and dry tonight, and I can hike out with those tomorrow. So we'll use this sock to clean up the soda. And I'll use the other sock to wipe it with water so it's not as sticky. So I think I have a solution to that. Bailing the water, or bailing the soda out with a sock is not how I thought I'd spend this evening. I think I got most of the standing liquid. Now I just gotta do something about the sticky residue. And this sock is going to stay out here tonight. And if a raccoon walks away with it, you know, hey, didn't spend too much money on him. And you can enjoy that soda sock. Soda sock. Is that a licensed thing? Because I know a guy who might want to market that. Sock number 2. You will be the wash sock. Okay. I need some fresh H2O. And a little bit of water for you. Well, you need a little bit more than that, don't you? Yeah, there you go. Gotta keep your socks hydrated. Okay, oops, I'm dropping everything over here. Except for beets. Okay. So, spill is right over here. Hey Bandit, you want to sleep over here tonight? Yeah, it's a good spot. It's my favorite spot. I'm just smoothing it out for you. Nothing weird happened over here. I didn't spill any soda. What are you talking about? You'll love it over here. It's great. It smells like vanilla cream. Yeah, it's one of those scented tent spots. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we cleaned up what we could. Now it's time to do something about that splinter. What did I just do? I heat up this knife, trying to disinfect it, because I'm getting ready to cut into my finger to get out that splinter. I'm gonna let it cool down first. Just kidding, I'm going to cut it now. Okay. Ow. Ow. Ow, it hurts. And it burns. Ow. It's a lot easier to do in a well-lit house. Stay tuned. It wants to come out. It has to come out. Ow. Ah! I got it. Ew. Want to have a look-see? There it is, in all of its glory. Let me make sure it's all of it, though, and not just part of it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It'll come back and get me if I don't find it. I think that's it there, right? On the corner there? Yeah. Yeah. That right there is the sucker that went inside me. I'm going to dispose of that. Oh, no, I dropped it in the tent. Oh, screw it. There it is. Hold that thought. Oh, yeah. That's the shot right there. Blood. First blood. I don't see any fragments in there. But if I get infected and die, well, we'll know how wrong I am. Okay, so the tent is up. It stopped raining. The soda spill has been, well, sort of cleaned up. It's probably super sticky. And then, well, the splinter has been removed. So as long as the tourniquet holds up on my tent pole and the weather doesn't get too crazy and we don't get attacked by vicious raccoons, then tonight should be good. I'm going to try to get some food going now for both me and dog. I found my other flashlight, which doubles as a lantern. And, well, using my trusty Camelus pocket knife, the one that I got the splinter out with, I'm going to fix another problem that I have happened upon tonight. So I forgot to bring Bandit's dog dish. And I realized this before leaving the truck, but I left it at home. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this slushy cup from the gas station earlier, and I'm going to put it into a food bowl for Bandit. Alright, so this is probably a good spot to cut, about halfway down. Well, maybe a little bit more. yourself. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Okay. So, I started to do a video recording, and then I got a call from the parents saying that rain and wind and lightning is coming our way in a couple of hours. So yeah, we're hunkered down, we got the tent set up, now we're ready to eat, and I'm going to start this little project, or finish this little project that I started. This one thing is, these crank lights, they're not the brightest, but you should always have one in your pack. At least I think so, because then you have unlimited power, unlimited light, so that you don't have to be in the darkness. And I'd rather be in the poorly lit darkness than total darkness, I guess. So this is what we're doing. I forgot to bring a food bowl for Bandit. So this slushy cup that I got at the gas station on the way here is going to be that food bowl. So I've got my trusty knife here, and we're cutting it around, and we're going to make a food bowl so Bandit has something to eat out of. Two-liter bottles are the best for impromptu food bowls and water bowls. But we're going to use this. Hopefully it'll work for us. There it is right there. Holds about a cup and a half worth of food. It's got some jagged edges, so don't hurt yourself, Bandit. Works as good as any bowl, I guess, huh? Want some water? Come on, get some water. Bandit, get some water. Water. That's wrong. It's water. It's water. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. You're okay. It's just water. There you go. Okay, so Bandit has eaten, and I've got my sleeping bags rolled out. I think I'm going to fire up my little pocket rocket stove and maybe heat up some soup. But I also got some snacks and Cheez-Its and stuff. I might not even cook the soup. Sounds like too much work. But there was some thunder cracking earlier. It seems like it's been quiet for a few minutes now, but it might come back. There's supposed to be a lot of bad weather coming. We're just about ready for it, but I've got my clothes wrapped up and put in there. I'm just in my t-shirt and some boxers now, so all my long sleeve clothes, except for my down, which I'm using as a pillow. That's all wrapped up in my pack. My electronics are in a container. You know, I should be dry inside the tent, but just in case, I've got things inside of other things to keep them from getting damaged. But I think before I eat a little bit of food, I think I'm going to run out there and try some tree knocks. Yes, in my underwear, I'm going to walk out there and try some tree knocks and see if we can get anything going before the storm. So right now it's the calm before the storm, and I want to see if anything will respond to us before we have to hunker down. Then I'm going to get my field recorder out and maybe do a quick little podcast. Okay, so I'm in my skimpies and gonna find a stick, try some tree knocks, then cower back in the tent and keep our ears open. I don't see a good stick anywhere. Maybe just up here. That might work. There's one right there. Right, back to camp. Might as well do this tree. It's as good as any. Every little stick that falls from the tree is likely to freak me out right now. Honestly, there's a lot more of a creep factor when you're backpacking 2.5 miles from your car alone. I was at Caddo Lake. That was fine. I was going back to a main campground where there were lots of people. I didn't stay where I was hearing those sounds, in a tent. I went back and I slept in my truck, surrounded by other campers in the heart of the state park. And when I was in Arkansas, I was with a group of 7 people or something like that. And we weren't staying at Mercer Bayou where we heard the knocks. We went back. But whenever I hear tree knocks out here, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever might be out here. Whatever's making those sounds, if it holds claim to these woods, you're kind of confronting it. And it's an uneasy feeling knowing that I'm all by myself, and if I hear tree knocks in a response, I'm kind of on my own, and I'm committed to spending the night out here with whatever responds. That's scary to me. All right, wind's picking up. I'm going back inside. Come on, buddy. Okay, so tonight's dinner consists of half a handful of edamame, a fun-size, snack-size Cheeto Puffs bag, and a little tiny bottle of water, which I seem to have misplaced. Oh yeah, it's right here. And before I settle down to that banquet, I wanted to tell you of the last event that's happened to me while I was out here. Another strange thing. This was recent. This was like late spring, maybe like April, maybe early May, maybe late March. I don't know. It happened in the springtime or maybe even early summer. But I was out here with a friend, and we had done a cave tour, and she had never been to like a state or national park or anything like that before. I think maybe gone hiking once recently, like maybe a few weeks before we met and hung out. But we had done a tour, and then it got dark, and I was with Bandit and her, and we were going to go to a spot and hang out there and try to do some Bigfoot investigating, because I was just bragging about that. So we were going to do a couple of miles in, and it got dark, and we got kind of turned around, and we're at like a crossroads, and we're trying to link the trail systems and get back and kind of circle around and go back to the trail. And while we were out there looking at the maps, Bandit started barking at the dark. And we're like, what is it? I go over there. I'm like, what do you see, Bandit? You see a deer? You see an animal or something like that? And I kind of try to calm him down, and he stopped barking, but he kept looking over there at whatever was in the dark. And his ears were pointed forward, listening, and he was just staring, wouldn't break away from that area. And as we were looking back at the map again, a tree falls over, and I thought that was weird. I was like, okay, so it's the same area where Bandit was barking, and a tree falls over. So I say, well, it wouldn't be bad. We were going to go to this spot to do some wood knocks, but, might as well try to do it here, because we're getting ready to turn around and head back. So that's what I did. Picked up a stick and tried to do some wood knocks. And after about 5 minutes, nothing happened. It was just quiet. So we looked at the map, we found a route, and we said, okay, well, let's go ahead and just start heading back, and, at least we'll have a good creepy, hike back to the car. And as we were walking back, right as we were turning the corner from that little intersection, in that same spot where the first tree fell, another tree falls. And keep in mind, there's no wind, there's nothing really in the weather that would force, two trees to just randomly fall over. So, it'd be one thing if the trees just gave way and fell. But the fact that Bandit was barking there, and then as a response, as seemingly in a reaction type way, as the dog was barking, as we started looking in that direction, a tree falls over. And then after that, another tree falls over as we leave. That's kind of like to me, it's like, yeah, you keep leaving, you get out of here, you're not welcome here type thing. I don't know how to really explain that, but trees fall in the woods. Yeah, but that was my first experience, I guess, because I had that tree fall when I was hearing those wood knocks at Caddo Lake back in Texas. But yeah, that first time with the two trees falling in conjunction with the dog barking in the same direction, that was weird. And that's probably the strangest thing that's happened to me here at Mammoth Cave, because I can explain those sounds that sounded like screams as just being far away coyote howls and not being able to make the distinction at the time. And I can explain the knocks, various knocks, as branches falling and hitting other branches or something like that, or a person trying to, mess with me. But those trees just falling down, that was weird. And I guess it could be somebody pushing over a tree, or it even could have been an owl up in a tree branch, and when the dog barked, it freaked out and then it fell. But the fact that another, something fell, I don't know. But my light's going out, and I just wanted to tell that story to you. We're settling down here. We're getting a little bit more rain, just sprinkling right now, but waiting for the big storm to come in. But we're going to hunker down. We've tried some tree knocks, and we're going to see if anything at all happens tonight. If not, that's okay. I got the opportunity to hike and adventure with my dog a little bit, and I got to share those stories with you, And maybe it's not Bigfoot, but, still gets the imagination rushing as to what might be out here in these vast southern woods.